I live in Michigan in a small place called Kentwood. It was July, one of the hottest weeks of the summer, and the worst thing about it was that our air conditioner was broken. One night when the wind was high and chilly when I was about 6, my mom said I kept coming in with my eyes puffy and red. "Mama," I would say, "there's a scary girl in my room who wants to play with me. I don't want to play with her, Mama." I would start to cry. My mother assumed it was just a nightmare, but I insisted that the girl was still in my room. My mom would calm me down and send me to sleep. About 30 minutes later, I got up again. "She keeps talking to me, Mama. She wants to play with me by the window because she is too hot. She scares me. She has cuts and scars on her, Mama. She scares me." Again, I would start to cry. My mother, now starting to get angry, forcefully said, "Go back to bed, Dayna." And I did. About 15 minutes later, I got back up, and this time frantically running. "Mama, she sat on my bed. I don't want to play with her, Mama. She's scary and ugly." My mom was upset with me now, got up, grabbed my arm, and dragged me back to my room. I kicked and screamed, saying that I didn't want to go back to sleep. My mom was very upset now, but when she went to my room, something stopped her. It was 98 degrees outside, and the wind chill only took it down to about 96. My mom said that it was so cold in my room that she could see her breath, and that my glass of water had a small amount of frost on it. She said she felt an extreme amount of emotion, fear, anxiety, sadness, pain. She felt like the emotions were attacking her. Only then did she see the lingering shadow behind my door. She froze and slowly said, "Okay, little girl, Dayna has to go to sleep and you can't play with her, okay? You need to go home." After that, my mom laid me in bed. This time I had no fear, and she stayed with me as soon as I fell asleep. The next day, she took me to this old woman whose house she often helped at. She lived about 4 houses down in an old 2-story house. I remember her house, and it smelled like firewood and cats. The old woman was about 97 or so. She lived on our street for a very long time. When my mom and her were talking, my mom told her about the situation that took place with me the night before. As soon as my mother mentioned the born little girl, the old woman threw her hands over her heart and began to breathe heavily. When my mother asked her what was wrong, the old woman took her aside and whispered something that made my mom gasp and shake. I remember saying goodbye to the old woman, and she hugged me and said something, but I didn't catch it. But that was the last time I saw her. She moved to a retirement home a few days later. I asked my mom what the old lady said, and my mom turned pale and said, she said that where our house used to be, there was a barn, and a little girl used to play in it that lived next door. And one night, the little girl fell asleep in the barn when a fire broke out. The little girl was burned to death. It wasn't until a few years ago I finally made out what the woman said to me. "You look just like I did when I was little. She thought you were me, and that's why she wanted to play with you." It scared me so horribly. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.